To record this video to give you some important information and also to, oops, there we go. There we go. And also to give you information on how we will be communicating in case you need extra help, you need clarification from me, or you just need tutoring time. So I'm going to start by sharing with you how we're going to communicate. So you received an email already with this information from the school. This is basically your schedule. And we also have office hours built in. So language teachers had to decide if we wanted to have office hours on Mondays or Thursdays. So I decided to do Thursdays, and that's why Thursday is highlighted in yellow. Because by Thursday you have already worked with some material, you have already interacted with some new content. So I thought it was going to be way easier for you to kind of like identify what you're struggling with, instead of Monday, in which you don't really know what's going to happen the rest of the week. So that's why we're doing Thursday. And in between the time range that you have here, 1:30 to 3, I was expected to pick 30 minutes for me to be available for you. So I decided to do it Thursday from 1:30 to 2 p.m. And we will have this as a conference. So we will be like video chatting or video calling. So we're going to use the feature on Canvas that is called conferences. So if you go to your menu in Canvas where you have like pages, modules, grades, you also are going to have now a section called conferences. So if you want to schedule a time on Thursday between 1:30 and 2 to talk to me, you have to email me first and tell me, Señora, I would like to have a conference with you at 1:30. So I can get that information on how many students and who are the students who want to do this conference with me. And then I will send you an invitation to this conference on Canvas. So you can check it because you're going to receive a message, and also because you can go on your menu and click on conferences and you're going to have like a slot to talk to me. Now, super important, if you require a conference, of course you have to be prepared. So make sure you have your questions ready for me to answer, and also your materials, because I might be providing clarification to you and I might point out at something specific on a handout or something we have covered already. So make sure you have your binder, your novel, and all other materials we are going to be working with, okay? Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about the exam. And in relation to the exam, I usually don't share with the two classes how each class did, but because it is an exceptional time and the videos cannot be too long, I'm just going to share in heavy. That's the other thing. I'm just going to share how both of you guys did, and you just pay attention to the information that relates to your class. Okay, so clase rosada. We're going to do reading first. Your highest score was 96, lowest 43, and class average 81. Please check your grade and see where you are, if you're above or below class average, so you can reflect on that. And I just going to talk to you now about the items of the exam. It was a long text. I'm just showing you to see if you can remember. The first part, you were supposed to identify words in the text. Some people, I know it was all kind of like not really separated, but some people skip some parts. So you got points discounted, of course, if you didn't answer. And of course, as you already know, you were expected to only look for the meanings of the bolded words. So double checking that is always good. And then the second part was you interacting with the text and first making a educated guess and say where are these people from and why. So some people wrote these people are from Spain because they talk about soccer teams that are from Spain. Well, I can talk about soccer teams that are from Spain too, and that doesn't mean I'm from Spain. So there were specific clues in the text that gave you the idea that they were from Spain. Some of them talk about, some of you wrote something like they talk about manners, and these manners, like not putting your elbows on the table, it's something that people in Spain do a lot. Yes, but it's not only exclusively to Spain. In Chile, we do it, in Argentina, and most Hispanic countries. So the correct answer was they use the vosotros, guys. They use the vosotros in the text. You know that Spain is the only country that uses vosotros. So that was the correct answer. And then you had to identify some idioms there with contextual info. Some of you did pretty well on that one. The one that you got incorrect most of the time was the idiom related to cheese. It says está como el queso, and a lot of you thought it meant he's smelly, but actually it meant he's attractive. So interesting. And then you were supposed to answer in Spanish those two questions, and then answer in English. And this part where you were supposed to answer in English, you have to tell me first. This is the after reading part. What did you learn about Pilar and her friends? And the most important thing was that she was telling a story. She was telling a story that she went on a date with a coworker and the date didn't go well. That was the entire conversation. Then in the that's how it started. Then the conversation evolved to, yeah, I don't like when people do this at the table, blah blah blah. But what initiated the conversation was the experience that she had on going on a date with a coworker. And then the last part, some people didn't receive a lot of full points here because it says, what about her friends? How do they feel about similar situations? Provide examples from the dialogue. So if I'm asking you to provide examples from the dialogue about how her friends feel in relation to what she's sharing, ideally, it's almost like common sense will tell you to mention each friend and write something related to each friend, right? Some of you did that, some of you didn't, and wrote something very, very general, and you didn't get all the points because of that. So that's clase rosada. All of the things I said, guys, also relate to clase verde. It's the same thing. I'm just going to show you now, clase verde, your percentages. Your higher score was 100, your lowest score 70%, and your class average was 87%. But all of the things that I just mentioned also applied to you in relation to the items on the exam. So, your writing piece. And guys, remember, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to open my iTunes. In relation to the writing piece of the exam, remember I told you that Q4 we were going to really practice writing in order for you to get ready to AP, to go to AP or to go to Spanish 4. And we're going to continue to do that, guys. And of course, you will have to work on monitoring your work. I'm going to help you a lot, but I'm not going to be next to you when you write. So we're going to work through it. We're going to organize that experience in a good way so you can be successful. Your writing. Rosada, highest score 100, lowest 71, class average 86. And then Verde, highest 100, lowest 65, and class average 83. Important things to have in mind, and I'm just going to make this disappear so you can see this. The learning target was for you to show me that you can give examples and compare cultural practices around food. But you also had to pay attention to the situation. And it was you coming back from a school in Spain and doing something that the Prep News has asked you to do. And that was to write an article sharing your experience in regard to food and cultural practices in Spain, with the SLU community. And some of you did not really write addressing the SLU community or having in mind that you had just been to Spain and like taking really into account the situation. So that's something that you need to start doing too, guys, because in AP they will give you scenarios. In Spanish 4, they also are going to expect more from you when you write. So you have to put yourself in these situations. And I asked you to use a Venn diagram to organize your ideas. I hope that helped you. And you were also expected to use past tense, guys, because you were literally talking about a past experience. Like you were back to SLU in the summer you went to Spain. So it was a great opportunity for you to show me how you're doing with preterite and imperfect. And some of you did not include that at all.